Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. I've been coming across a lot of these videos. Andrew Tate's basically inspirational videos and speech videos. This one is Get Your You Know What Together speech video featuring Andrew Tate, Joe Rogan and Eric Thomas. I just want people's thoughts on what they really think of them. If people want to leave messages and let me know what you think, whether you find them inspirational, whether it's a turn off for you, or whether as a young person or an older person, what your thoughts of them, because I find them quite interesting. They're very, very strong, they're very motivational, they're very sort of trying to work your emotions to get you going. Is that a good thing, or is it because, like I said, some people are really depressed and can't motivate themselves because the mind won't let them do that? There's a lot of thoughts on this. We're going to go into it and we'll comment as we go.
Laid out in front of you, and it's pretty clear where it ends up. You're going to be a normal guy. You're going to have a mediocre life, average, maybe above average. And that's fine, right? Because everyone has a normal life. And being normal or average is just failing so like the other people around you that you don't see it as failure anymore. The truth is, as the world becomes more competitive, naturally it becomes more polarized. There are going to be more ultra rich and more ultra poor. And what they're going to do is, as things get more difficult, is just lower the barrier for what normal is. In the 1950s, the normal guy had a nice big house and 2 cars, and his children were well educated, and his woman could stay at home and take care of the house as he worked in a normal job at a factory. Nowadays, the normal life is for both partners to work and struggle to pay the bills. Soon, the normal people will eat the bugs. The normal people will live lives of serfdom and slavery. It is getting more and more difficult. Normal is no longer acceptable. And most of you, truthfully, are on a path to normal. Most of you are too lazy and too arrogant to put in the work and listen to the people who know, and genuinely humble yourself and grind the way you need to grind to make any of your dreams come true. Start to actually consider the life you're building for yourself. Consider how your woman will look at you when you walk in the room. Will she
I agree. I don't think you can force people. I think people do look at these videos. A lot of people look at these videos. I don't think you can force people to actually think in a way they don't want to think, or push them to the next level unless they want to go there. They got to want to go there. You got to say, look, I want to go there. My body wants to go there. My heart wants to go there. My mind wants to go to it. I think you can force people. Things like this do actually inspire me. I already have a business at the end of the day, but it does inspire me to do better. Sometimes I can get lazy. I think, yeah, I've earned so much money this month, I don't care, I'll be alright. But you're never going to be alright on a certain amount of money. At the end of that, I do well for myself, but sometimes I do sort of switch off thinking and think that I'm very, very comfortable. But sometimes being uncomfortable is sometimes a good thing, if that makes sense. So I think sometimes some of the pointers he actually gives are in everyday life, whereas in others I think it can hurt people because they haven't got that motivational skill to actually move on, and they don't know how to. Even though he could be showing you a map, it's easy for someone to say it who's got the money and power than to someone to do it.
Will she adore you? Would she die for you? Would she wait for you if you went to jail? I don't understand how you men at home are not furious at yourselves. If this video speaks to your subconscious on any level, you should feel deep shame because you're not a fraction of me. And perhaps you never could be me, but you could certainly be better than you are. And you're not even close to that. You are monumentally failing yourself. You're monumentally failing your bloodline. You're on the road to nowhere, and you don't seem to care.
Most men live lives of quiet desperation. It's one of my favorite quotes ever because it's true. And I've been that guy. You're just in this world where you just can't wait to just run away. The opportunity takes place usually when you're young and you don't have any responsibility. That's when you have your options. Well, your options are severely limited the more you gather responsibilities. Like, if I had to, as a 51-year-old father of 3, married man, pays taxes, has a house and a mortgage and a business and all that jazz, if I had to quit everything now and struggle the way I struggled as a stand-up comedian, it would never work. But the only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. That's the only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous, and most people want to take the safe path. And the safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation. Almost.
Sometimes it's very true. I do agree with that in some ways. Please, this is quite an important part. So please do leave your messages about what you've just said. That a lot of people go down roads that everyone else is going down. Your general office job, and they get to a certain age where they've probably been there 10, 15 years and probably scared to go somewhere else. I worked for Empower and I worked for British Gas as well in office for a long, long time, and it was very, very stressful. In the end, I was on good money and I said, I'm going to quit this and do a few business studies courses and then set my own business up, and that's what I did. I was working other menial jobs in between, so I wasn't basically spending my savings or wasting money, which helped. But I sometimes, a different mindset, challenge yourself to do something else. I think that's a road which actually changed my life and got me doing my own business. If I've never taken that path, I'd probably still been in an office and very, very unhappy.
Almost every time, it's hell.
There's nothing that God hates more than sloth and laziness. If God were to create a man and that man were to sit around and do fuck all, God will frown upon you. It's why you're never lucky. If you're listening to this and you think I'm never lucky, I'll tell you why, because God dislikes you because you're fucking lazy. Start to work. Start to show God the beauty of his own creations. You'll be amazed how lucky you'll become. God is unhappy with these people. And inside their hearts, they're unhappy. You'll loathe your own weakness. You'll loathe your own laziness. This is what all of these things are. I don't feel depression. How can I feel depression when I'm the most powerful version of me that I could ever fucking be? Most men are walking through life and they don't realize that it's constant competition. Every single pound they want, someone else wants. Every single girl they want, someone else wants. And they're just sitting there just fucking floundering and wandering through life, unaware of how competitive the world is. And this is my point. If the world is truly that competitive, you do not have time to be depressed because it's a non-competitive mind state. You could be depressed for X, Y, Z, whatever. I'm not depressed. And I want the money you want, and I want the girl you want, and I want the status you want, and the car you want, and the house you want. I'm gonna get it, and you're fucking not. I don't give a shit what happens to me in my life. I don't care how bad it is. I don't care if the worst, most heinous things I could possibly imagine happen to me. I know that my sadness, my depression will be temporary because I will never stay a loser. It is against my creed. It's not my deal.
That's the real message. The real message is we all started from no. I mean, we all had bullshit jobs. We all felt like losers. But through time and effort, you build a stronger human. You build a stronger body. You build a stronger mind. You build accomplishments and will. And
I agree with what he's saying at the end of the day. But not everybody has the mental capacity to actually do that at the end of the day. Some people need therapy. Some people need help with getting from A to B, and then they will go from C to D to E. I think we live in sometimes a superficial world where people say, just do this, just do that. It's easy for you to say, but I think there's so much mental health and problems in this world. It's not easy for the everyday guy or everyday woman to sort of motivate themselves. And I think it depends what you've been through as well at the end of the day. I'm not making excuses. I'm just seeing it from a realist point of view at the end of the day, not sometimes from a rich person's point of view who... Andrew is wealthy, yes. I don't think he was always rich. I respect that. I know he was from a council estate in Luton. He lived in the States, he's lived all over the world. I completely understand that. He's worked so hard. You can do it at the end of the day. It can be done, but you got to know what problems you've got into. You've got to fix those problems first before you can actually do that. That's what I think.
And momentum, and then you look back and you go, hey man, I'm not washing tables anymore. You know, I'm not washing dishes. I'm not cutting lawns. I'm not digging ditches.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a different person now, but I used to be. And you ain't got shit, and there's nothing going on. To have faith then is so difficult. To have faith when you're successful, it's like, yeah. Listen, bitch, you've been successful for a while. Of course you got faith. Just keep doing what you're doing.
That's easy. Yeah.
It's like
absolutely right.
It's like you already got up the hill. Now you're just coasting.
Yeah.
You know, you're just rolling down the hill. Everything's great.
That's the easy
It's all
part.
smooth sailing.
Yep.
The hard part is getting up that fucking hill. And especially if you got a dad you're hiding from. Especially if you feel like you're a loser, or you never really had anything in your life that you could look back on and say, hey, I was really good at that. You know, and there's a lot of people out there listening to this. There's so many people that are in that starting point. Like the people that come up to you and say, I don't know what to do. What should I do? How do I do it?
Yeah.
How do I get going? But you're going to have to figure it out, one foot in front of the other.
Exactly.
You're going to have to find a thing and keep working at it and get better at it.
All of your minds are broken. You can't even focus on anything anymore. You are completely distracted to the point where you can't even appreciate the good things in your life. You're distracted. Your minds are broken. You need to rewire your mind and resist the slave programming. If you cannot control your own mind, then you are just a feather in the wind of life. Because your own mind is the only thing you can control. You can't control the weather. You can't control people. You can't even control whether your heart stops beating. You might have a heart attack tomorrow. You can't control anything besides what you think. If you cannot control your own mind, then you go through life with zero control, zero influence. You can't control anything. You're just a feather in the wind, waiting for life to blow you from happy place to sad place to happy place to sad place. Completely hopeless.
Very true. I think you've got to change things up. But you've got to want to change. You can. One thing I've learned, like I said, I've worked in office, I've managed people, many people, trained a lot of people. You can't force or push people to somewhere they don't want to go yet. They've got to want to go there. They got to want to say, look, Marvin, I want to get to A to B. Take me there. You've got to see some people want to do it, but don't have the confidence to do it. So it's going to take more time to spend with them, you know, and motivating them to do it. And then for them to say, look, I can do it with your help. Sometimes people don't want to tell other people their problems. It's sometimes pride, it's ego, especially for the workplace, and also I think it's letting others down as well. That's a big thing that people don't really want to do, or don't really want to move on to that next level, just in case it don't work for them. But I'd say probably if you're young especially and you want to move on, take a course. Look into what you can do and where you can go. There's thousands of firms out there. If you're in office or you're in IT, there's millions of firms. Look at your qualifications, rejig what you need to improve on. There are many online courses. You can book an online course on a computer, laptop, can do it on. There's many ways. Without attending college, you can actually do it at home in the comfortability of your own home, especially if you may be shy around people or shy about going to university or college or night school, you know.
Hoping on the gods to be fortunate to you, because if any genuine discomfort comes your way, you're fucked. It's so easy to win. You can control your own mind. It seems that nobody fucking can. Your own father's a champion, and you don't even feel fucking motivated to do shit. It's a fucking shame.
But can people just make that change? I mean,
Yes,
look,
you can,
I believe in
but you
it.
have to plan it out. The way you can change is you have to put aside enough money to give yourself a window. And then you have to have a plan. And you have to spend all your waking hours outside of whatever shit job you do planning your escape. And you have to come to the realization very clearly that you fucked up and you got yourself stuck. So whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. And whether it is you're trying to be an author, if you're going to try to be an author and you're working 8 hours a day plus commuting plus family responsibilities or whatever else you have, whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, god damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You got to go. You got to get after it. And you got to have discipline. Most people don't have those things. Most people don't understand what it's like to really go for something.
You're to go and look your father in the eyes.
I think that's sometimes true. I think discipline, I never used to have discipline when I was younger. I wouldn't say bad discipline, but sometimes discipline, I went from like sometimes job to job or couldn't settle. I was just wanting to do many different things at the end of the day and didn't really know, even though I'm a qualified baker, qualified chef, went back to college and did a business study, A-level, and part 2 as well, advanced business studies. It helped me a lot, but I guess that sometimes I was looking for things that at that time were out of my league. I think I want to earn this kind of money, but I didn't want to put the effort in for courses and stuff like that. And then when I got into my late teens, early 20s, I realised that I really had to work for things if I really, really want them, and to see these courses through without sort of being sidetracked by another job or another course or another business avenue. So I guess you have to find yourself as a young man or a young woman and then go from there. And planning's everything, but you've got to really push yourself, especially if you're going to change career or do a course. You've really got to be motivated to do that.
So you know what? I could have been a UFC champion. I could have been a multi-millionaire. I could have been a race car driver. I could have been a fucking nuclear physicist. Could have done all these things, but I was busy on Pornhub. You think he's gonna be proud of you? Fuck no. People who go, yes, I'm wasting my potential. Those are the ones who have potential. The ones who stand up and go, I am wasting my potential. I could be anything, and I am not that yet. They have a chance. This is your prerogative as a man. Well, you need to be instilled with a sense of duty to your bloodline. You must want it. You need to want it deep inside your soul. I can't die as anything less than emperor. As a man, if you don't make yourself valuable, you have no value. You have to get up and do it. Just like a video game, you start with fucking 0. You have to decide if you want to complete. You have to upgrade your character. So I find it amazing that men are going to play video games and fuck about and waste their time instead of upgrading their character. Everyone knows what to do. You know what you have to do. If you had to become the most dangerous, intelligent, respectable man on the planet, you know you're supposed to go to the gym. You know you're supposed to train, learn how to fight. You know all these things. You don't do them. That's your decision. It's your prerogative. I didn't make that choice.
Everybody always talks about getting to the top. Everybody always talks about going after their dream. But nobody talks about retention, and the work that is required not only to get there, but to stay there and go to the next level. And so the mentality you're going to have if you're going to win, if you're going to conquer your day, conquer your week, if you're going to dominate the month, if you're going to crush the quarter, if you're going to win the year, I need you to remember that talent does not win championships, work ethic does. Here's the mentality you're going to need. That nobody's going to outwork you. I'm sorry, I love you, but you're not going to outwork me. I'm with you, but you're not going to outwork me.
I think the way this guy's talking is the way I think. I think it's to be the best you can. Don't get sidetracked, especially if you want to get your own house or you want to get a nice car or you just want to look better in yourself, clothing-wise and stuff. I think that's the attitude to have, especially for young people who are coming out of maybe apprenticeships or they want to prove themselves to bosses and directors. Then that's the attitude to have. I think this actual video is quite inspirational. I like it.
Connected, but you're not going to outwork me. We can dream together, we can lean in together, but you're not going to outwork me. We may be in the same class, but you're not going to outwork me. Number one, I need you to have the made up and fully persuaded mind that nobody is going to outwork you. Stop sitting around moping and complaining and waiting for somebody to connect the dots for you. Put the work in and take the stairs to the top.
Great questions. Sometimes what's stopping you? That was speeches from Andrew Tate, Joe Rogan, and Eric Thomas. I think they've well, we know Andrew Tate's got his own channel, Joe Rogan too. I'm not too sure about Eric Thomas, but I think you can find him somewhere. Let me know both. Well, I want to get sort of women's thought on what they think of Andrew Tate, and if you ladies have got sons, do you think that he's inspirational to your sons, especially on the job front? I know he's said some silly things in the past that have put women off him, but just on what you think his speech is and what he's saying that especially he wants young men to do. And yeah, as men, let me know your thoughts on Andrew Tate. Do you find him inspirational? Does his words hit home, and Joe Rogan's and whoever else? Let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and please leave your messages and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Let's support the team. Thank you. Take care. Bye.